With reactions trailing the transcript of the deposition made by Carl Westberg, the witness of the Chicago State University in the case of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar's request for the release of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's school records in the yet-to-be certified transcript obtained by our sister publication, This Day Newspapers, Westberg told the court that the diploma, which is also called a certificate, that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu presented to INEC was not like the ones issued by the university in 1979, but however looked more like those produced in the 1990s. Well, in one breath, Westberg also claimed that CSU did not find any diploma issued by 1979 to Tinubu, but in another breath claimed that the school had in its file the diploma dated June 27, 1979, which was the copy released last year to Enahoro Eba under the order of a U.S. court. Well, let's go over some excerpt of the deposition transcript. Carl Westberg was responding to questions from Angela Liu, lawyer to Atiku Abubakar. The question from Angela goes, "You have never seen a diploma that cut off the signature of Herbert Conley position like this?" Answer, correct. Question, and CSU does not have a 1979 diploma that contains the font, CL signatories, and wording apart from the INEC diploma. Westberg answered correct. Question, so CSU does not know of any diploma dated 1979 like the INEC diploma that has ever been issued. Answer, correct. Question, and CSU has no record of issuing this INEC diploma to President Tinubu in 1979. Westberg answered correct. Another question, and CSU did not issue a diploma dated June 27, 1979 to Tinubu in 1979. Westberg answered correct. Well, another transcript there. Angela asks, the diploma says it was granted on June 22nd, 1979. Westberg answered yes. Question, and CSU did not have a board of trustees in 1979, did it? Answer, true. Another question, so let's look at the signature on the INEC diploma on the right. It looks like one of the signatories from Elnora Daniel, correct? Answer, yes. Another question, and Elnora Daniel was not the chair or president of CSU in 1979, correct? Answer, correct. Angela also asks, she was president in 1998 to 2008, correct? Well, Westberg answer, as far as I'm aware. Well, you know this has caused a lot of reactions, guys, because, you know, is it the word forgery or the certification? But let me take a tweet from David Hudeni, who wrote, just got a hold of the written copy of yesterday's deposition. And yeah, Chicago State is in just as much trouble. Well, apart from confirming that the certificate submitted to INEC is a forgery, they also confirmed that they have no way of knowing that Bola A. Tinubu and Bola Ahmed Tinubu are in fact the same person. Well, Temitokwe Ajayi also in response, I believe he is the press secretary to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he wrote, "We should be clear. In the deposition made by the Chicago State University, there was nowhere the university said the certificate presented to INEC by President Tinubu is fake. The university insisted on that oath that President Tinubu graduated with honors, and even at that, replacements for lost certificates are done by vendors, not the university. They claim that President Tinubu submitted fake certificate to INEC does not make sense. A man cannot forge the academic records he possesses. You can only forge what you don't have." All right, Rufai, a lot of discrepancies here in this. Yeah, although I will state again, this is not a certified copy of the deposition, but I mean, it's transcribed as to what he was saying. That is Carl Westberg. But I want to also just talk about the fact that, you know, Chicago State University contacts vendors to get their certificates. I did go on Chicago State University and I looked at it as well. There's also a link that you can click to obtain your diploma from the school website. And the second thing I wanted to say about concerning that as well is the fact that they did have the certificate from Enahoro Eba that he requested. Yeah. I believe that was last year. So what happened there? I don't get it.
So that's the conundrum.
Yes.
Yeah, I get vendors can print certificates and all of that, you know, the American system. But the question I also want to ask is, apart from printing a certificate, there should be some form of authentication.
Yes, that they can make.
So let's say you are an affiliate of Rufai Enterprises. At least there should be some form of authentication of Rufai Enterprises on what you print. That's one. Number two, why is it that there was one, they gave a Nahoro Eba? Why didn't President Tinubu get that one to present?
That's the question.
But if CSU had one for him, why did he get that one to present? Why did he present the one that the CSU did not even present at all? I think a lot of people should read those raw facts of the deposition. They talked about that. That inquiry you read I think, was the first part of the deposition. So he did not know, the Carlsberg did not know that they were now going to bring up the Nahoro Eba exit. So when they brought it back to him, he was gobsmacked. It also showed the school did not even have a verification system to verify whatever the student had even presented hitherto. Because the school did not even know that Ahmed was the middle name of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So there was no way for them to be able to know. Concerning the template that was going around, that some people had gone to tell all sorts of pockies for, that the school gave it to them. The school said it was just a template they had released because they got a lot of inquiries, and that if you had even mailed the school, they would have given it to you. That's just it. So when people,
they would have given it. So what is this vendor situation?
So
and who
that was to whom it may concern.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about those certificates. I thought you meant the certificates.
So the vendor situation, and also they talked about the case of a certain Mr. Orr in all of this, conversation that left the school after his education of something and all of that. And, there were also other, even very sad things. And you wonder, this is where an American university operates?
Absolutely not.
And let's now go back to a particular document. Because you see, with all of this new evidence, there was a deposition under oath Carlsberg made, where he said Bola Ahmed Tinubu graduated and was awarded a degree from University of June 1979. And they said that Chicago provided a diploma to him and they were valid and all of that. Now, this is suspect. In the first deposition I gave Angela Lu, the things he was already saying in this Henderson deposition was contradictory. So because, Oji, I not get work, I read that thing. I read it. I took out my time to read it because we need to be able to inform the public.
Absolutely.
You get? So, and that's why all of this out there, it's in the realm, people will take it up, whatever it is, they're going to make their assumptions and all of that. But for me, I'm just concerned about the facts of the matter and based on the deposition. Like you said, right, it's not certified yet. Probably when they, certify it and all of that. And it's a document that's out there in public. Everybody should take out time to read it too. But based on some of the first depositions, it was already contradicting the things Carlsberg put in here.
All right. Ayo, I get the point that Dr. Abati always makes, which is the point of discovery. Can it be admissible in court? But I don't think that that's what Nigerians are even worried about. They're worried about, they want to know, was that certificate actually from the Chicago State University, which we have seen in this uncertified transcript that, the clerk there is saying, we're not sure we can authenticate this actual certificate. Yes. What's your take on that?
So when you read the deposition and that statement coming from the university, the first question that came to my mind was, okay, so the certificate that was presented to INEC, where did the president obtain it from? Because it didn't come from CSU, and CSU has stated this categorically. Now, in terms of whether it's law admitted, I asked a question earlier to Mr. Hassan, when he sat where you were sitting, about, and now this is based on personal morality and the fact that this is the highest seat in the office of, this is the highest office in the land.
Yes.
And the fact that should someone, whether the court sacks him or not, if we are aware that a principal officer such as that forged or didn't present a certificate from the institution where he said he graduated from, should he not honorably, even without the interventions of the court, step aside? As is done in other sane societies. Right. It's a matter of, and Mr. Kalu was here, he cited the example of Mesoma. When ordinary young Nigerians like Mesoma are said to have forged a result or forged a certificate, all their benefits are withdrawn from them. It's a national disgrace. It's a national, they didn't need to go to court for JAMB to come out and for all the sponsors to come out and take away her benefits. It's the same thing that Nigerians are clamoring for. It's beyond, and I said it before and I still maintain it, it's beyond, yes, law is not morality, but even if the courts cannot admit the evidence, whether it is they call it a wild goose chase or not, it is not just a national embarrassment if this is found, in terms of the evidence before us as to CSU saying they didn't issue the certificate or the diploma. If the president is not able to share where he got that particular diploma from, if they are not able to balance the discrepancies on the dates, the logo, the signature, the different things that the registrar had alluded to, then Nigerians deserve an answer, and we deserve a credible leader who is honorable, if found culpable, to exit that position.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Thursday said a clerical error is responsible for discrepancies on the certificate issued to him by the Chicago State University. Well, according to Tinubu's lawyers, an unidentified clerk of the university made the error about the date the school stated on his recently issued certificate. Tinubu's lawyers argued that the university incorrectly wrote the date of graduation as June 27th, 1979 instead of June 22nd, 1979, along with a change in the university's logo, which created the appearance of differences between an earlier issued diploma and the one issued in response to a 2022 subpoena. The claim is in their response to a suit filed by former Vice President Atiku Abubakar seeking the disclosure of Tinubu's academic records from the university. Well, users on social media have shared mixed reactions. Before I take tweets, Rufai, I'd love for you to just chime in here, because you know that this issue of whether certificates forgery has been, on the forefront of all eyes on the judiciary.
No, but we just have to state clearly that anything happening in American courts is of no consequence to what the judiciary has reserved a date for already. This is separate from it. But there's been many conversation around this Chicago debacle. And many cases have been filed. And many subpoenas have been issued, all right, as regards this. And some actors somewhere have orchestrated also many lies. One of them, I think we had to talk about this around November last year, was that we brought to fore that there had been a case filed as regards this conundrum of certificates at the courts in Abuja. I think it was the Federal High Court or something. I don't know the jurisdiction of the court now. Where Enahoro Eba, a lawyer, said that he had instructed his partner, Knowles, in Chicago to subpoena Chicago to get details of, degrees and all of that, and school records and all of that. And he said this was at variance with what the president, now sent to INEC then.
Right.
There's that conundrum. And I think we talked emphatically as regards this. That was what happened then. Now, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar in America also using the court system to be able to know more. And in fact, I think for the sake of clarification, somebody had claimed that they even went to Chicago.
I know that's somebody.
The point I made
yes.
was the person claimed they went to Chicago on the 19th of September. That was the day they visited Chicago. But why is it that the document the person claimed Chicago gave them was unsigned and it was dated in June? So there's been a lot of conundrum, and I would like the courts to be able to unpack it. But Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has filed in America, and the response of the Tinubu team now is the fact that there was a clerical error as regards date of graduation and the likes and all of that. Whatever it is, this matter is sub judice, and the court will rule. What I just gave is a hitherto background. I will not talk about the matter that is sub judice.
Right.
All right? But there's been a lot of back and forth and confusion as regards this. So let's see how this court process pans out. The deposition and the reportage is all there for all to read.
Right.
Pure and simple.
Well, you know that the United States had given Tinubu until August 23rd, that is what, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
To, give reasons as to why his records should not be released to the former vice president?
As has been mentioned already, this matter has come up a number of times, and in the last election, it tried to, some people tried to bring it up again, especially from the opposition. And it is important, even though it has no bearing on the judgment that's reserved by, that's in court currently in terms of the presidential election petition tribunal. I think it's important for Nigerians to know the truth, even if it's just to put it on the record. And then one thing about the United States of America is that they will uphold the rule of law. And so even though Chicago State University hitherto had not wanted to and had given a post-dated date to release the details of the school records, by the act of law, the former Vice President Atiku has been able to place a demand for them to release it. So the onus would be on them then to see if they are going to do so or not. At the end of the day, even though, as has been established, it has no bearing on the judgment, it is important for Nigerians to know the truth. And let's put pay to this conversation around, where is your background, what school did you attend, what school didn't you attend. I think let's just have closure, as a people. I think that's all that I would say about this one.
Is it not scandalous that we have come to a level where people are saying that when a leader is false, fake and forged, that it is a trivial matter? So you can imagine the level of the morality quotient that we have arrived at. Well, generation of vipers will give birth to scorpions and serpents, and we have to tread upon scorpions and serpents in order to move forward in this country. How can you say that a young girl called Mesoma, who passed her JAMB, who scored very good grades, but because she was greedy, went and got third-party agents to write her own result and produce her own certificate? How can you say what she did was not trivial? How can you punish her for that? And then you have a leader of your country doing exactly the same thing, assuming without conceding that he attended the university. Then he wrote his own certificate. The same thing this girl did. And then some people are saying it's trivial. You know why they're saying it? Because they have destroyed their conscience and morality. Whoever ever came out on TV to make such a statement, mark my words, is not fit to hold any public office in Nigeria or anywhere in the world. Evil is evil. Criminality is criminality. Forgery is forgery. And the Supreme Court, by law, not just that they have the right to accept the evidence, they have a duty to accept it and act on it. Because by law, they say in exceptional circumstance, where the evidence was not available during trial, the Supreme Court or Appellate Court can accept the evidence. Again, Supreme Court is a policy court. Are you saying it is now a Nigerian thing to forge, laying credence to the allegation by the university abroad? Are you saying the Supreme Court will keep quiet and portray Nigeria to the whole world as a nation of forgers? The policy of Nigeria is that Section 137(1)(j) of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended is that whoever has presented forged certificate to Independent National Electoral Commission is disqualified from being president or holding any political office. So whoever that supports any such person is a conspirator to the crime after the fact. And that person also should be debarred from holding any public office in this country. So the Supreme Court, not only that they have the right by law, and they have done it before, they have a duty by law to ensure that a certificate forger does not become the president of Nigeria. Do you know? Go to India, he will be treated like a pariah. Go to United Nations Assembly. The people that even said they will meet him on sidelines, sidelined him and not meet him.
Mr. Okonkwo,
how do you want a leader?
Mr. Okonkwo, if I may step in, Mr. Okonkwo, it's not proven. If I may step in, please. It's not proven that the president is a certificate forger, and we will not use this platform to emphasize that. We still have to wait for the Supreme Court to get judgment on that. But let me just land, please. Yes, but that's what we're saying. We still haven't arrived at that decision yet. Let us wait for that, Mr. Okonkwo. Please let us wait for that. So, if Mr. Atiku's prayer is not answered, please. If his prayers is not answered, please. What is the way forward for him politically?
Good. Let me make one point clear. Before today, before it was proved by CSU that this certificate did not originate from them, which is the condition to prove that a certificate is forged, I have never used this language in any forum or any medium. So I say only the things that have been proved. Chicago State University said, this certificate is not from us. And as a lawyer, that is what the court said you need to prove that a certificate is forged. So that's by the way. So if anybody feels that I am not in order, let the person sue me for defamation. But I'm entitled to my freedom of thought. I'm entitled to freedom to express it the way I believe in it. So that's by the way. Then secondly, the way forward is that if the Supreme Court or any other court now says that Nigeria is a nation of forgers, then they should take responsibility for giving Nigeria that name. The way forward is that it will set a bad precedent in Nigeria. So the way forward is that every Nigerian should do the right thing and ensure that the law is respected. The way forward is to uphold the express provision of Section 137(1)J, that if you have submitted a forged certificate to INEC, you're not qualified to be president. That is the way forward. Recall that in 1999, when Bola Tinubu contested as a governor, he deposed to an affidavit, and he mentioned 4 things in that affidavit: his NYSC certificate, the primary school he purportedly attended, the secondary school he attended. He said he attended University of Chicago. All 4 of them false, including his date of birth. Fake, not in existence. Please help me and give me the vocabulary that I will use to qualify such a person, so that you would not say I'm using my own words.
The presidency has reacted to the United States court ruling ordering the release of records concerning President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's alleged involvement in a drug trafficking case. Well, on April 8th, the United States Court for the District of Columbia ordered the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Drug Enforcement Administration to release records of their investigations concerning the case. The judge ruled that both agencies must search for and process non-exempt records under the Freedom of Information Act. While reacting to the judgment, presidential media aide Bayo Onanuga stated that there is nothing new to be revealed since the reports of the FBI and DEA on the case have been in the public domain for over 30 years. Well, let's take a look at Bayo Onanuga's statement. He wrote on X, "Journalists have sought the presidency's reaction to the ruling last Tuesday by a Washington, D.C. judge ordering the U.S. FBI and DEA to release reports connected with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Our response is as follows. There is nothing new to be revealed. The report by Agent Moss of the FBI and the DEA report have been in public space for more than 30 years. The reports did not indict the Nigerian leader. The lawyers are examining the ruling." I mean, Bayo Onanuga here, Rufai, is saying that, the reports that we have seen, I believe we have seen some of these court documents, did not indict President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, saying that, these are not new allegations. So, I mean, why all the furore?
Okay, but the Agent Moss report also talked about, the conversations around the money in Bola Tinubu's bank account and conversations around forfeiture of $460,000, and that's what we heard. But I'll just take you back historically. Plainsight, Greenspan of Plainsight, had been pushing this for a while, requiring freedom of information to be able to get most of this dossier out. to be able to read them. And it's been blocked. And the rebuttal has always been that there's that Glomar, what's it called?
Glomar
response, which pretty much says, I cannot confirm nor can I deny. And normally that Glomar response does suffice when you have a case, of secrecy that has to be involved with governmental agencies and national security, because one of the points that have been made by the CIA that, especially when it comes to human sources, the case of that Glomar report will survive. And if you go back historically, the Glomar report goes way back to the 70s, where America had this Glomar Explorer, shape that they want to use for a lot of covert activities. But as regards this, prior to this time, they had taken, with the side of the CIA and those governmental agencies, as regards that Glomar response, that, okay, you can hold, that can hold sway when it comes to FOI requests. But this George, this district court judge, now Judge Holmer, is now saying that, no, because this man is the president of a sovereign, this should be out there in public.
Interest, yeah.
Everybody should be able to see this.
All right.
But the argument that they're still holding is the fact that this is a human resource, of the CIA. This would also, impinge on his privacy, and it will also prevent, further investigations as time goes on. And there's been a contention on the need of the public to know and privacy issues here.
All right.
The judge has also told them that they should backtrack, they should bring back a report on the 2nd of May. So we are waiting for that report. They're going to write an extensive report on that. Most of these agencies, the drug department and other things and all of this.
All right.
And this conversation had been on since the 90s. I think it's best for us to be able to wait on that report. The presidency has reacted and said nothing in that report. I think the position of, Kevin Moss is way different from what might be in this report. Because if they claim that it's what's in the public glare, then definitely these agencies will not have gone to court to be able to stop releasing what they know as regards
All right.
it.
Let me read an excerpt made by a lawyer from the judgment, just a really short excerpt before we wrap up. They wrote, even the plaintiff acknowledges that Mr. Tinubu's name does not appear directly in these documents. Instead, plaintiff claims merely that it is implausible that no documents responsive to plaintiff's Freedom of Information Act request to the CIA exists, given that the CIA was closely following the issue and would have at least been aware of Mr. Tinubu once he became a prominent politician.
So all of that is subject to the release of the reports of these agencies. We have to wait till May 2. That's a deposition based on a lawyer's argument.
On a lawyer's argument.
So we have to, when they now report to the district judge, Homer, they will be able to know what happened. But you see, in going forward, for the sake of integrity, we shouldn't even have rebuttals as regards preventing, reports like this. Let everything be out in the public.
All right.
Let's be able to see it so we're able to make our inferences and this matter can go away. You forget that some of even these allegations had been put forward in the court during the election petition and it didn't sail through.
Well said.
So there's also going to be a case of jurisdiction. But we need transparency across the board.
Vice President Atiku Abubakar has challenged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's assertion that Belarusian businessman Alexander Zingman, who introduced to Nigerians during the launch of his renewed Hope agricultural mechanization program on Monday, was his schoolmate at a Chicago university. Tinubu had referred to Zingman as his neighbor and schoolmate in Chicago. However, Atiku's media office countered the president's claim, stating that Zingman was born in 1966, which would have made him only 13 years old in 1979, when Tinubu claimed to have graduated from the university. Atiku's statement questioned the credibility of Tinubu's claim and also raised concerns about Zingman's alleged involvement in questionable transactions in Africa, citing international media reports. Well, Atiku's Media 8 released this press statement on Paul Ibe's Twitter account, and I'll read an excerpt of the statement. They wrote, "Are we now to believe that the Guinness Book of Records missed the story of a 13-year-old Belarusian prodigy graduating from an American university alongside Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Even more troubling is the president's casual association with a man whose international reputation is mired in scandal. This leads us to ask, with the solemn weight of patriotism and the urgency of truth, Mr. President, Nigerians deserve to know why a man born in 1966 is being paraded as your classmate who graduated in 1979. Were you taught in the same classroom or in different decades? Well, in the meantime, Zingman made headlines in African media in 2021 after being detained for 12 days in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Zingman's Dubai-based company, Aftrade DMCC, specified that the reason for the incident was allegations of arms dealing, which Zingman strongly denied. Zingman's lawyers stated that the arrest in the DRC was politically motivated and that ultimately he was cleared of any wrongdoing by DRC authorities. Well, here's a press conference he granted after the incident.
We became huge victims of wrong information supplied from somewhere to the security services of Democratic Republic of Congo about our arms dealing or about some other accusations. And we came to a situation that without explanation, so in detention center, we spent almost 12 days without any phone connection. So they cross-checking us because of this information that we became victims of this wrong, totally shocked information that was distributed in the mass media about us. So after all these ways that we get through in detention center, after all cross-checking and all questions that was done, it was prepared a big report that we are totally cleared by 4 security agencies of Democratic Republic of Congo, that we don't have nothing to do with any arm trafficking, that we don't have nothing to do with any training activity, that we are legal agricultural businessmen that came for agriculture and mining projects like we do in many other African countries to Democratic Republic of Congo. When they finalize their cross-checking and all security questions and all these procedures, we were released today in the morning with a full explanation that it was totally cleared by all agencies of security of Democratic Republic of Congo, and we are welcome to do any business in Democratic Republic of Congo if you want, because now we're fully cleared, and these victims of wrong information is totally taken out from us, and we are ready to be investors in Congo, and we are welcome. This was the message when they release us finally today.
All right, I thought it was important to play this video. This was back in 2021. I guess that's the response to the Atiku media team who has questioned his dealings in Africa. He said that he was, arrested wrongfully and that he was cleared of any wrongdoing. Yes. So, but also the question about his attendance at the Chicago School University. I don't know if it was Chicago State University that Tinubu said, but he just said a university, correct? In Chicago. I don't know if it's the actual.
No, it said schoolmates.
Schoolmates, but at where? Did he say CSU? Or did he say at a university in Chicago?
No,
that's the question.
He just said schoolmates.
Schoolmates,
So what's the university that?
We don't know now. That's why we're asking.
You don't know the university your president.
No, I know he went to Chicago, but I can go to multiple. I'm not defending anybody here.
Okay.
I'm just asking about facts,
okay.
and empirical facts. So the cable did the Lord's work. They actually did a fact check, and this is what they posted. This is from the cable. They said that Zingman, while speaking with Day Night TV, reportedly said that he was born on November 26, 1966 in Minsk. That's the capital of Belarus. This means he will be 59 years old by November 2025. In the interview, he was quoted as saying he earned a bachelor's degree from the Belarusian National Polytechnic University, where he studied in the Faculty of Robotics and Robotic Systems between 1985 and 1989. And he added that he studied business marketing at the University of Illinois, Chicago, in the United States. From 1991 to 1995, he equally received a master's degree from the University of Illinois in Chicago. He also said he once served in the Soviet Army from 1983 to 1985. This was, a video that, Cable had fact-checked. I just got some excerpts from that video, and these were from Zingman himself. So again, the question is, what university was the president talking about? Because Zingman has said with his own mouth that it was the University of Illinois, and we know that our president went to Chicago State University. Dr. Abati.
Okay. Well, I think that Polibe and his principal,
Yes.
Waziri Adamawa Atiku Abubakar, they have partisan reasons to play politics with this, And I said yesterday, election season is over. We're running a government now, so we can focus on the running of government. I will not want to join anybody to call the president of Nigeria a liar. No. 2, let us stress the point that he said schoolmate and neighbor.
Yes, we stressed that
He did not
yesterday
say
as well.
they were classmates. He did not say, the president did not say he attended the same school with Alexander Zingman. Schoolmate.
What's the school?
No, he said university at the end of the video. He said
well,
our
well, I
university.
didn't hear
Let me tell you what he said.
But what's a school?
Hold on, he said
you just said
Hold
he attended the same school, but he called it a school.
He didn't mention school.
Let me tell you what
But
he
he said
said.
schoolmates
Hold on,
now.
Narufai.
Oh, yeah,
Let me
please.
tell you what he said. He said that our university will be proud of us. So it was a university. It's not secondary school. It's not primary school. He said university.
Now says he attended University of Illinois, Chicago.
Exactly, good.
And what is in the public domain is about President Tinubu attending Chicago
Correct.
State University.
Those are the points.
So
yeah.
that's why, people will play politics with it. That the president of Nigeria probably does not know the university that he attended. So is it University of Illinois, Chicago, or Chicago State University? So that's why his political opponents would like to seize upon it. But as for Alexander Zingman, he's basically a businessman. He runs a group called AfriTrade. Now, the incident that occurred April 2021, he and 3 others were arrested in the Democratic Republic of Congo because they were labeled arms dealers.
Yes.
And they were said to be planning to organize a coup in the DRC. And he said, look, that was misinformation,
Correct.
disinformation. That he was just a businessman. He was going there to meet a foundation, Moise Kande Foundation. And he's also Zimbabwe's honorary consul in Belarus. So that's the source of his connection with Zimbabwe. There were no charges against him and the others. So you give him the benefit of the doubt.
Correct.
He was not charged. He was not tried. They were released after 2 weeks
12 days.
detention. 12 days.
Yes.
Well, almost 2 weeks. So that is the story about that.
Yes.
I don't think we should hold that against him. The biggest office that anybody can possibly occupy, some people say, is to be a friend of the president. You will be surprised. I've seen people in this country who will go and print a business card. They will say friend of the president. And they say it's a very powerful position. However,
we know that.
What I said yesterday is that Mr. Zingman is helping with this Belarus connection, agriculture, training of persons, which is what he does.
Yes.
And he says he's involved in other African countries. What we're asking for is, what are the details? Was there transparency and accountability? Did he bid for it? Was it a competitive bidding? And, how is this going to be processed? Earlier this morning, we talked about agriculture. The Brazilians also investing about $1 billion in addition to $2.5 billion. And then we were saying, how do you process all of this? Technical management, administrative management, training, and would there be the involvement of states? Because the federal government of Nigeria does not own farmlands in the states. It's Zamfara, Niger, where you have Farmer Bago, and in Lagos, where you have Origin Tech Group, partnering with Governor Sanwo-Olu, who is 60 today, by the way. You know, so those are the questions we can raise. Let's focus on the issues. This matter of whether University of Illinois or Chicago State University or whatever, I made the point yesterday. You don't need a school certificate to be president of Nigeria.
All right, Dr.
In fact, once you can speak English and you attend maybe a seminar in Umukwata, Delta State, you can be president of Nigeria.
Which is unfortunate. All right, Dr. Vati, we have to
Why
move
is it
on.
unfortunate?
It's unfortunate.
We have had presidents who could not produce primary school certificates.
What do you call it? Grade A people to rule us, like you always say. Anyways, at the end of the day, I believe that, you know, the presidency will respond to the Atiku media aid. And of course, a lot of Nigerians who have asked what university the president was talking about.
2027, regardless of what Tinubu or the APC might want or plan, the 2027 election will be free and fair. Not because of APC, not because of Tinubu, not because of INEC, not because of judiciary, not because of security agencies, but because of a parallel vote tabulation platform. Vote Watch, working with volunteers as polling unit marshals across all the polling units in Nigeria. With Vote Watch and polling unit marshal, we tie the hands of INEC, the hands of Tinubu, the hands of APC, the hands of security agencies, the hands of the judiciary. We tie their hands and we make rigging impossible, regardless of who wants to rig. With Vote Watch, we will get real-time electronic transmission of polling unit results directly from the polling unit in real time. With Vote Watch, we get something even better than real-time transmission. We will get real-time collation, meaning as the results are coming from the polling unit, we are seeing the tally automatically. If election finish by 3 o'clock and they process the results, they count, they fill in the form EC8A, the party agent sign, the police and security agency sign. Once that form EC8A is processed, at that moment, as INEC is using their beavers to snap the form EC8A to upload to IREV, our PU marshals, as polling unit voters, which is allowed, are using their phone to take a picture of the same form EC8A to upload to the Vote Watch platform. But there's something even better that Vote Watch can do that IREV cannot do. IREV does not collate, but Vote Watch collates. And it doesn't just only collate, it collates in real time. So you see that collation gap where they will take the results, the original from EC8A, from the polling unit, and now go to the registration area, the ward, to go and do collation. That is where the abracadabra starts. So that's where party votes either become fat or lean overnight. No longer will be possible to do such rigging in the collation gap, starting from either the ward, the local government, the state, up to the national, if we have the result already from the polling unit on the Vote Watch app, there for the whole world to see. You see, this is a very wonderful solution. It's called parallel vote tabulation. It is allowed. It's very legal. We are not replacing INEC. We are not declaring winners. It is well within our rights as voters to monitor our vote after we vote and to report our votes. What we are doing is what political parties are supposed to be doing in their situation room. But for some strange reasons, they don't think to do it, and they don't do it robustly enough. So we, the people, we use our people power. We use our office, the highest office in the land, the office of the citizen, to come up and drive this solution by ourselves. That's what we're doing with Vote Watch. So that 2027 will be a reflection of the wills and desires and aspirations of the people. There is a rise in godfatherism. Wike and Tinubu have taken godfatherism to a great height. It is now Baba Sokpe crazy. Baba Sokpe politics. Baba talk say, you heard what Desmond Elliot said, that when they gave him the impeachment notice to sign, he thought it was from Tinubu. Baba Sokpe, Baba talk say, not what a full-grown man who is a legislator, not what he thinks, but what he thinks the Godfather wants. And you see how he started trying to beg for the forgiveness of his Godfather, because he feels that it's only the Godfather that can bring him back to the State House of Assembly. And unfortunately, as it is right now, it's only the Godfather. They have kicked him out. That is a dangerous trend of godfatherism in Nigeria that we must tackle. Many of you are mocking him, saying, oh, is it? Yes, mock him. Whatever he got, he deserved. But on the flip side, what damage is godfatherism doing to Nigeria? So long as politicians like Fubara, politicians like Desmond Elliot, politicians like Ben Ayade, so long as these politicians see or even think that the only way they get back into office is by the support of godfathers, Nigeria is dead and buried. Things will never get better. Because when they get into office, their only loyalty will be to the godfathers. If we want them to be loyal, if we want our leaders to be loyal to the people, then we must make sure that it is the people that bring them into office. That is why I cannot emphasize the importance of Vote Watch enough. The link is in the description of this video. www.votewatch.pro. Simple. You can use any browser, Chrome browser, Phoenix browser, Safari browser, on your phone, your desktop, your laptop. You can use it. Just type in www.votewatch.pro into the address bar. Click enter to take you to the platform. There you will see the overview. But then you will see another button where it says sign up to be able to become a PU Marshal. Click that sign up button. It will take you to the registration page. Enter your name, enter your email, enter your state, enter your local government. In the place for ward and for polling unit, click any available one. Don't worry. All the other things in the background we will fine-tune to put you in the right polling unit as a PU Marshal. Remember, there are going to be 3 PU Marshals per polling unit. And none of the 3 polling unit Marshal will know who the other 2 polling unit Marshals are for that polling unit. We are doing this because we know that some polling unit Marshal can be compromised. And we are doing this to make sure that none of them are compromised. We are not using information from one polling unit. We are using from multiple. And the reason for this is simple. We have seen where coalition agents of political parties are compromised on election day. And we have built a safeguard into the Vote Watch platform to prevent and guard against this. So once you enter all of those details, click sign up, you sign in, and then you'll be able to be a PU Marshal once we approve your request. It's as simple as that. Who would have thought that a solution to stop rigging of election in Nigeria would be this simple? It will be this safe because you work in ghost mode, in stealth mode. Nobody will know what you're doing, but yet you are doing so much that nobody can rig. So if you're in Nigeria that loves Nigeria, you want Nigeria to change, please check the description. There's a link in there. If you're a Nigerian that already is benefiting from this in very good way, I am not going to advise you to change the system. I know you won't want to reform yourself out of power. So this message is not for you. It is for you If in all this abundance you are living in squalor, no jobs, high cost of living, insecurity, poor roads infrastructure, poor health care, poor education, weak naira, so much corruption. If we want a better Nigeria, then you will subscribe to this. If you want credible leaders to come out, then you will subscribe to this. This is actually very, very, very important. God bless you as you subscribe, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.